Today I'm little bit excited to talk to you because we are going to discuss today something on the new age marketing which is required by companies. Like e-commerce companies will love today what the content we are going to explain. And we are also excited to today talk about what is data modeling and data driven marketing. So data driven marketing, the number one stuff what we want to keep in mind will be that how to decode the market using mixed modeling.
Yeah.
So I'll give a small insight for that, because data driven marketing strategies are vital for the business to thrive in this today's era, because it is an increasingly competitive world where we want to clearly understand what are the derivable, valuable insight about the consumer behavior, consumer preferences, consumer trends, and the first touch points and last touch points. Okay. We want to deliberately go into the valuable insight by checking on the conducting targeted campaigns, personalized marketing campaigns and stuff and so forth.
Yeah.
So data driven approach will be the future of, like, you can say, like 1 to 3 years, because we don't know what are the next models which is going to come now. For the time being, we can say that multi-touch attribution and mixed modeling will be a hot topic to discuss in terms of a performance marketer, if you're discussing about performance from the start to the end. So welcome, Amin, to the show, to the podcast. And I'm asking you a simple question. What is actually marketing mix model?
Good. Okay. Now, that's a wonderful topic selection. I have been excited to discuss about measurement and different way of modeling the data for long. And so talking about measurement, see why measurement is so important. Okay, before we hop into the topic marketing mix modeling, let's start from measurement. Why it is so important? So you can see the famous quote on my screen: half of the money I spent on advertising is wasted. The trouble is, I don't know which half. So you spend, say, for example, 10 lakh rupees into marketing, and you get a revenue, maybe let's say 20 or 30 lakhs, or maybe 50 lakh revenue you get. But out of 10 lakhs you spend, 5 lakh has done the best role of getting the maximum ROI from that. And the other 5 lakh roughly is gone into waste. You don't know which, like you spent at 10 different medias. Out of that, 5 medias have performed really well, or 5 campaigns have performed really well, and the other 5 didn't perform. How do you measure it? So until you don't have a system to measure and track the data, you can never optimize your campaign. Otherwise, it's like just throwing the dirt on the wall. It's like a shotgun approach. You do 10 different activities, plenty of activities, and some will bring in the result, some won't, and you keep doing this thing, and end of the day you end up spending a lot of your valuable resources. Now, just to put a context, how many e-commerce companies are registered or entering into the advertising world every day? It's roughly 3,500. When there are new entrants, this is going to spike up the advertising cost. Just to give you an idea, in last 4 years alone, the advertisement cost has been tripled. Generally, this happens in 7. Advertising cost will double in every 7 years. So something that was supposed to double in 7 years has been tripled in last 3 years alone. So this increasing advertising cost, if you don't know how to utilize it, I mean, you can't control the advertising cost. Since I said it's purely depends on the auction, the competitiveness. So in this highly competitive environment, if you don't know how to use your resources, especially your spend very well, you are going to end up bleeding or killing yourself. So measurement is very important to know which of your activities are actually drawing the result for your business. Now, let me tell you about the attribution. See, there were two different models. Like so far we have been using multiple touch attribution model, which means let me give you a simple example of what a single touch attribution and multiple touch attribution. Attribution is basically in a customer journey, there has been different touch points. So if any of our audience doesn't know what is touch point, let me quickly explain. It's just basically any trackable interaction a customer has with your brand. such as email, clicks on social media, search ads, or website visits. So in a context, maybe you are running a campaign for running shoes. So people have seen your social media post, has read your blog, has checked your email, and you were running a webinar. I mean, definitely webinar is not gonna be a campaign for running shoes, but just to say some example, you're running a webinar and a search ads. So people before buying your running shoes has been going through different touch points, through different campaigns of yours. And now you cannot simply attribute the entire conversion to first or last touch point. Earlier, imagine you were running a social media campaign in the month of maybe in the month of May, and people have clicked that ad. Now after that, they have checked your social media post, then they have checked your website, then they have checked your email and converted. Now in the single touch point attribution, there were two models. One is first click and the other one is last click. The first click here is they were, your brand was exposed to them through your social media advertisement. Now the entire conversion has been assigned to the credit of the conversion has been assigned to the first touch point. Now in the last touch point attribution, it has been assigned to the last touch point. Recently you mentioned you bought Lenskart glasses from Lenskart, right?
Yes.
So
that was like my wife went to the shop,
okay,
and he bought she bought a new spectacle.
okay.
In that time, these people were talking about like we will give you a coupon where you also can scratch that coupon and become a member of our fraternity, where you people can also avail that service to buy new glasses. Like
Okay.
in that model, what I understood that basically it was a method of growth marketing where the cost of acquiring the customer will be very less. So we look for the touch points, as you mentioned clearly. We are looking for the touch points to be very broad, touch points to be very subtle, that the people can be exactly brought up to the funnel, where the risk of bringing the customer or the what you say, that the funnel should be very optimized in a such a way that you can study the patterns of customers where these people buy. For example, if that is the thing what we want to look here. Like touch points are the areas where we can understand clearly that on which touch point we can get maximum customers. Like on which touch point we can retain maximum customers. On which touch point we can give maximum message. So actually, what you're saying is right.
Yeah.
So I'm referring back to that. Into is right.
I'm referring back to that same point that you said in your case. In many of the cases, last touch point has given the highest value. So the problem here is but there is a big problem here. See, I bought a stuff very recently, and let me tell you the journey how I have how my decision has been formed around that buying decision. I have seen their brand for the first time in social media ad. Then I didn't buy. I checked their website. So if I check their website, the pixel will capture my third-party information. Then I have been thrown a couple of retargeting campaign from them. I didn't still buy, and I checked out. I added the product into cart, giving my contact information. Now they have the first-party data of mine. They send me an email that your cart, you have abandoned the cart. Look like we can give you 10% offer. I still didn't buy. Then at one point, I checked it. I went to their direct website and bought. Okay. When I entered the website, I have seen their search ad. Okay. That was a sponsored ad and bought it. Basically, it's a running show. So what happens is in the last click, see, I have seen their email, check their social media post. And again, their social media ads. But the whole credit of the conversion has gone to the last click, which is search ads. But I wouldn't have searched their brand at the first place if the other 3 touch point didn't happen. That's the point. So the social media ad should get the credit. The email should definitely get, because that's how I know that they're running a promotion. Then the retargeting campaign should get the credit. It's not only the search ad that gets the credit. That's why we have moved from last touch point to the first, multiple touch point attribution. So it could be, in single touch attribution, the whole credit goes to either the first touch point or the last touch point. From there, we have moved to different multi-touch point attribution. Let me explain them in very brief: linear, position-based, and time decay. So it's very common. I think most of the audience will be aware, but I'll give you a quick introduction. Linear means you had 5 different touch points. Now every touch point get the equal credit. Let's say you bought a product for $1,000. Now it's a 5 different touch points. So 1,000 divided by 5, 2,000. Conversion value will be assigned to each and every touch point here. So your email marketing get 2,000, your social media get 2,000, your search ad get 2,000, and retargeting ads will get 2,000. Now in position based, the first and last gets, that means the introduction of the brand, and the one that has converted the customer gets 80% of the credit, which means 40 will go to the first touch point and 40 will go to the last touch point. The remaining 20 will be equally divided among the other touch points in between. Okay. Then the time decay model, the one which is very closer to your conversion will get the maximum touch, maximum value. So let's say if the product is worth $1,000, maybe $800 or $700 will go to the last touch point, and the one very farther from the conversion will get the least, but still every touch point is getting some sort of attribution. Now, this was the one which we have used previously. Now, since the evolution of AI and ML, this has moved to a data-driven MTA. So in data-driven, the system will allocate dynamic value for different touch point. So it's not first will get highest or last will get highest. You can see the graph here. In between, maybe there is an email marketing that has given the best engagement and that has contributed the customer towards the buying decision. Maybe you have formulated your buying decisions, and this touch point has influenced you to the higher extent to buy that product. In that case, this machine learning algorithm knows that, okay, email marketing should be allocated higher conversion value than the other one. So it is dynamically associated based on your interaction. So these were the multiple touch attribution. And you can understand that these things work really well under only one condition: if you can measure the customer touch point effectively. So you can see here, there are, this was another example. I mean, the one I was just referring to, I have seen the social media. I mean, like this has been my journey so far of buying the running shoe. I saw them from a social media post, then checked their blog, then landing page, then found an email marketing, then PPC ad, and finally I have checked their product page. Now the product page has got the entire conversion, the other has got the least conversion. This could be avoided from the multiple touch point attribution. Now the problem is, if you have the signal, okay, if you can accurately measure the customer interactions and touch point, this works perfectly well. This level of granular data. You have seen, Latheef sir, we have discussed this several times, that this rising privacy concern, the Google is opting out of the cookie-based tracking. Apple has already opted out since iOS 14.5 and above. You have to give consent to the individual app, that okay, I either consent or decline that you give the permission to the app whether to track or not. So customer has now the options. Either you can be into the tracking system or not. And I have seen, I mean, whenever I am installing an application, most of the time I opt out of the tracking system. So what will happen? In my case, in the same example of running shoe, even though there is that, the best sophisticated method I said was this one, data-driven modeling. So even though data-driven multiple touch attribution exists, since I have opted out of the tracking system, my application cannot track whether I have read the email, whether I have been to their PPC campaign, retargeting campaign, and other campaign. What will happen? The whole credit will go to the last touch point, maybe where first party data is being measured. In that case, in your report, you can see, okay, there are people coming to your website and converting. What is that called? It's organic traffic. You see, people are searching for my brand. My brand name is XYZ. So they are searching for my brand XYZ and converting online. Wow, our organic things are working really well. It's a wonder. But it's not a reality, right? The problem is all other touch points were not able to track since I have opted out. Now, with that concern, just a second. So with that concern addressed, since the signal strength is inadequate, and the ability, you cannot track first party data with the pixel, we all know. So since pixel cannot track first party data, and iOS 14 and browser limitation on third party cookie details, and the other biggest thing is, if you check, if you are analyzing the website tracking, around 70% of the traffic are coming from more than 50 from bot sources or fraud sources. Now, see, you are tracking your whole measurement system is based on the touch point, and when you realize that 50% of the touch points are from fraud sources, the whole system is manipulated, right? The whole system is polluted. You cannot simply relay the system. So that's the other point why you cannot completely rely upon MTA. Then increasing emphasis on brand-oriented messaging. That if you are a big fan of top funnel approach, right? Every time you say brand has to invest on the branding activities, like top funnel, maybe video view campaign or reach campaign, impressions campaign. Now in these campaigns, see, MTA is working on the click data. If you interact with that business, it is being measured. If you don't interact, let's say you are driving your car and you see a hoarding in a traffic, or you have seen an advertisement poster, that is not being tracked. Those interactions are not being tracked, but this actually has an influence on your buying decision, right? So this top of the bottom and top of the funnel and middle of the funnel campaigns are oftentimes overlooked, because people see or people draw their buying decision around those campaigns. But since there are no interactions on top funnel campaigns, that is always being overlooked, and that never gets the credit. So that's why people are not using a video view campaign these days, because that never gets the credit. You see 1 million people have seen the ad, but you can't see any leads generated or any sales generated from that. At the same time, your conversion campaigns are having those conversions mapped out. The problem is, this can track, this cannot track. You don't know the influence of your branding campaigns on your sales revenue.
On the ongoing discussion for the data management or the data attribution techniques, let me ask you a question that how MMM thrives in a cookieless world?
Nice question. See, let me explain what MMM is. So it's nothing but marketing mix modeling. It's a method that helps quantifying the impact of several marketing inputs on sales or market share. So the purpose of using MMM is to understand how much each marketing input contributes to sales and how much to spend on each marketing input. Now, as I have just explained, even in the digital space, there, the things that used to be on track before, or the things that could be tracked using third-party details, are not able to do so. And on top of that, there are companies not only depending on digital marketing efforts these days. They have TV ads, they have radio ads, they have other advertisement activities. Now, all these things put together, see, in a month, you are running digital campaigns, then TV ads, radio ads, and you are also running as promotions. So each and everything of this is actually contributes to the bottom line of the business, which is nothing but to most of the company, it's sale. So how much of the revenue or ROI is brought from the individual marketing efforts? That's what we are going to measure from the marketing mix modeling. Is your radio working well? Is your TV ads working well? Even in digital, if search ads are doing well, or the social media campaigns are doing well, or if none of these things are working well, still your offer could outperform all other variables. So is it really the price drop that is driving the result? Or maybe there are some days that can have higher conversions. Weekend, okay, especially I'm doing some campaigns for targeting parents for toys. So those conversions are happening on the higher end during the weekend, because that's when they realize that they need additional toys, or maybe toys to spend quality time with their kids, because weekdays they don't realize. So if weekend is impacting, or the paydays are actually impacting. I am seeing for some brands, especially in beauty space, that people are transacting higher on the payday. So between 25th of a month till the 5th of next month. So because different company have different salary cycle. So during the last weekend and the first weekend, I'm seeing higher conversion. So if that is contributing towards the ROI, all these things could be measured on the media mix modeling. Who is bringing the revenue to your business? Consumers, right? So what are actually influencing the consumer on their buying patterns? Marketing content. These are social media marketing mostly. And offline media, you have other banner advertising, maybe holding at different places. Then pricing and promotion, you lower your prices, you run some Black Friday promotions. All these things can influence. And competitive landscape, everything is working well, but if a new competitive you have seen this thing with Jio, right? It has totally disrupted the market. There were Vodafone, all other companies companies competing to get the customer, but at the same time Jio entered. They had a completely different pricing plan, and they have captured the big chunk of the market. So if there is any disruptions as such, that will be taken account on MMM modeling. Then external factors like a flood or maybe tsunami, all these things are being considered in MMM. That's why I said this is a robust model. These factors, plenty of variables. So even MMM in data analysis model, we say it's a multivariant regression analysis. You have a lot of independent variable being considered here to draw the model and conclude on how your KPIs are varying according to these variables. Then so this is how generally your KPI will look like. Let's say this is your revenue curve. You see troughs and peaks, right? It's going down, it's going up, then going down and stagnate at some point. We are basically analyzing what is it actually costing to have spikes in your revenue, and the one that is causing trough in your business, which means drop in revenue. So let me explain a graph. So you can see here, there are multiple variant I have considered in drawing this MMM. Okay. Now, first one is price. You can see on the red color line, and the other one is distribution, which is nothing but yellow color line. Then TV, green color blocks, and outdoor activities, blue, and digital gray color. Now, this all the changes in the variable happen simultaneously. That it's not that you keep all other variable constant. You cannot keep a constant pricing and distribution and outdoor activities, all other activities constant, just to understand the impact the digital campaigns can draw on the business revenue. That's not how it works. Especially big company or medium enterprises, they will run different promotions, price drops and increases distribution. Distribution is nothing but they're opening new stores, or they are having additional sales channels. They were only running from selling from stores. Now they have added one online store. So all this could happen simultaneously. So to have the impact, to understand the impact of each of this variable, that's why you are running an MMM model, multivariant regression analysis. Multiple independent variables are there. You do the regression analysis to identify the best fit, so that you can identify the contribution of the individual marketing campaign on your KPI. So here you can see the sales, which is in the yellow blue color line, was constant. Then it increased. The reason was you had higher distribution here. Here you can see that the distributions have higher impact on the KPI, which is nothing but sales of your company business. Then you can see it was exposed to blue color outdoor activities, which increased your revenue, but not as much as the increase that has brought in with the increased distribution. Then you have seen TV advertisement has performed better than the other campaign, outdoor activities. Then came the price drop. Here you can see price drop. It has increased your sales, but not as much as the other two variable we have seen before. Then on the last campaign 3, it's a 360-degree approach. You had price drop here. You had TV campaigns. You had digital campaign. You had outdoor campaign. So this is how generally the business operate. And you want to see the contribution of these individual thing on your business KPI. And you can see that revenue has changed during the entire phase. And especially in this area, you can't exactly predict, looking at the graph, either it is digital campaign, or it is outdoor activities, or it is your distribution, or it is your TV activities that has brought in the result. That's why we are running MMM. So hope I answered your question here, sir.
So my last question for you today will be, it's a very important topic in the hands of a CMO.
Okay.
Imagine that we both are a CMO of a company. And what would be the advantage of using MMM modeling for perfect optimization of budget for each campaigns?
Okay, cool. See, MMM has 3 blocks. One is measure. So I have been talking about the measurement phase so far. Now, during the, everything you have considered during the measurement phase, you are running a forecast. So you have been spending X amount on TV campaign last year, then Y amount on radio advertisement, then Z on different digital campaign. Again, you have a breakdown, this much on search, this much on social media, and you have broken down into different channels as well. So based on the measurement analysis, now let's go to, okay, this is how a graph look like. I mean, this is very simplistic graph. And what you can see is the historical value. You can see a scattered plot here, right? See, this is the scattered plot. And here this is what explain what your historical data has been. Based on the historical data, we draw a projection. We basically come up with the best fitting line that, okay, this has been my journey so far, and how it could be in future. So you can forecast based on your historical performance. And not only that, you can allocate your budget, your resources into the channels that are performing or giving the highest ROI. So let's say you have 1 crore budget, and you have all other different marketing opportunities available, TV, radio, and all other. How do you split this, budget? How much should go to TV? How much should go to radio? I mean, like, you can't simply break down equally between all the channels. The one that is getting the best impact, best result should go to the, should allocate higher budget. Most of the people who are seeing the podcast will be knowing what a conclave or saturation curve is. So now you can see that in your digital campaigns, it's not every time an increase in ad spend will cause an increase in the output. Here, see, at this stage, until this point, you can see an increase in ad spend is causing an increase in the return, the revenue. But once you reach the saturation, let's say here at this point, if you spend so much amount in marketing, it is bringing only like this one. This length is showing your spend, and this is showing your incremental revenue. Okay, so the revenue here, if you give so much budget here, the incremental revenue here is less as compared to spending here and here. Let's say you are having a situation here. You have a search campaign and TV campaign. But in TV campaign, you can see TV is highly scalable. You can spend so much amount in TV, still you could get revenue. But if your TV current spend is at here, having additional spend will have very lesser impact on the revenue. You can see you spend this much, but your incremental revenue is less. But at the same time, in search campaign, the same X amount, if you spend here, you will have higher return. The height explains the higher returns. Now compare this height to this much. So now, just because TV is so scalable doesn't mean that you can scale to infinite. So it totally depends on where you are standing in that curve. If you are reaching saturation, instead of spending at TV, you should be shifting that budget into search so that you will have a higher return over ad spend. And this is how a final output will look like. The continuous line here, the blue color line here explains the historical data. And based on that, you can see the dotted blue line that is explaining the future or forecast. And even in forecast, it is clearly explaining how much should go to the promotions of the online media, seasonality, competition, and all. And as a CMO, you should be knowing about this carryover effect and saturation effect. Saturation effect, I have just explained that after some point, your market saturate or diminishing returns kicks in. So these are called as point of diminishing return. And the other thing is carryover effect. Let's say you are having a campaign that is performing really well. That's a TV campaign. But there should be a delay, a decay. You are exposing your audience with ad exposure today, but the conversion will happen after a month. We have seen this multiple times, right? So we are spending 10 lakhs on a channel on BBC today, and you are measuring its impact after 7 days. but you know that ROI won't be 100% realized on the 7th day. It result or its benefit will continue to draw for the next a month. So you should know what is the carryover effect of your individual campaign. If it is digital campaign, how long I can expect the return over advertisement or ROI. And if it is TV, so all these things, carryover effect or ad stock effect, all these things are being considered while drawing your MMM model. And even the data analysis step workflow is complex. We cannot discuss them on a single meeting. We'll be covering this on our upcoming podcast and all.
Yeah, we need more time to explain this stuff, as this is one of the largest topic to be discussed in detail right now.
Yeah.
As we all are, as you mentioned very clearly, that one of the main concern is that saturation of the platforms, how to divert to each platforms, what are the strategies to work out, like every electronic device is being connected to digital, for example CTV, connected TV. How can we avail the inventory of that? How can we optimize every touch point using the client side and server side data attribution and data collection methods? How can we monitor them statistically? How can we optimize the data? These stuffs has to be discussed in detail. So thank you, Amin, for the wonderful time. I hope that
it has been pleasure talking to you. Yeah.
Yes, same here. So I think that the stuff which we discussed today will be of immense value to the people who are actually looking into enter into this field. Hope that we will have the second portion of this content to be shooted next week.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Keep energetic as always, and we will see on the next episode.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a great day. Yeah.
Thank you.
So let me explain a graph. Here you can see, I mean, it's a very simple graph. On top, you can see in green color, it's a TV advertisement, blue, outdoor, gray, digital. Then in orange color, you can see distribution, red, pricing and sales. So let me draw here. Okay. Okay. So these are variable. You can see 1, 2, 3. These are 3 different variables. First variable is nothing but price. So price remains constant until one point. Then we drop the pricing again. It remained constant. Then drop the pricing. So that's one change happened in the business. For the I'm sorry. Is my screen visible? Hello. Latheef sir, can you see my screen? Hello? Hello? Hello?
Yeah, I can see. Yeah.
Should I continue?
Yeah, I can see.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, hello?
Yeah, can I continue?
Yeah.
Okay. So now you can see the graph here, and it has multiple variables. As I said, TV activities, TV campaign activities, outdoor activities, indoor distribution, price, and sales. Now, the red color is the price, and price you have seen that it's remained constant until one point. So let me draw it. It remained constant until here, then drop, then remained constant, drop. Again, you can see the distributions. Initially, it was constant, then we increased the distribution. Then
Hello?
yeah, hello.